strong marketing background and our passion for marketing, our love of travel and Africa. I mean, we left corporate because what gives us joy is to put itineraries together and get fantastic feedback from clients who've gone on holiday and had the most incredible experience, and then all things digital. So whether we like it or not, your consumer, irrespective of what you sell, is in the digital space. So really it was the marrying of these three, if I can say, passions that led us form this agency called Marula Hill Marketing. And we had the opportunity to present our thinking to the team, and now we are presenting it to you. So we are essentially tour operators who have a marketing arm. So we have, and I'll share with you a case study that we have done to show you the power of, when you do social media right, how it can be exponential. But what we have found over the last few months is as follows. People are done, they're tired, they want to go traveling, and they want to go traveling immediately. They're looking for safe holiday destinations, so safety protocols are key. Also, the fact that unlike a big hotel like a Sun City, for example, people are looking to get away to smaller places in the bush, not being cramped, no massive, everybody goes and dives into the buffet table. So safe holiday destinations is key. The closed borders, as much as it has kept the tourists out, it's also kept South Africans in. And certainly what we have found with who we are selling holidays to, these are the people that would be going skiing in Aspen, they would be going to Dubai on a shopping spree. So you've got all these very wealthy individuals who want to go on holiday. And we have been selling, and I'll show you our case study, in lockdown, we have sold a huge amount of holidays. So people want to travel. There's a big piece around driving and not flying. So this makes the Waterberg region extremely attractive to people who don't want to get on a plane. And it really is Joburg's, the best kept secret for Gautengers. We've also found what we call sharing the love. People are going away as families and friends. So definitely we found that the number of people that we are sending away as a group has increased. And again, Waterberg Gem. We've sent people to Marriott Harbour as one of the lodges that were open, and the repeat business, just the beauty of this region and the diversity has blown people away. So we are very excited about an opportunity to promote both the lodges, hotels, guest houses, I'm going to call it the establishments within the Waterberg, as well as a big opportunity to get people to start thinking about Waterberg as a consideration set. And again, a sample size of myself and my circle of friends. Before getting into the travel game, if we were thinking of going away, the consideration set was Clarence, it was Dahlstrom, it was the Midlands Meander, not necessarily Waterberg. And I think that there's a lot of people that want to go away that just don't know that this little gem exists on the doorstep. So essentially what we presented to the team was this. We see a big opportunity as a two-pronged approach. Underpinned, so in partnership with Waterberg Tourism and using the power of the social media platforms, i.e. Facebook and Instagram, and I'll talk about that in more details. The first opportunity is, how do we put, and I'm just going to call it lodges, but it could be hotels, guest houses, self-catering. How can we advertise lodges that drives occupancy rates to people? And the second piece is, how do we then create this amazing brand awareness program for Waterberg, the Waterberg region, talking about the diversity of experiences, the different types of accommodation, etc. So it really is a two-pronged approach underpinned by Waterberg Tourism. So the first thing to talk about is social media, and I accept that before I went on the course, it was this, I really didn't know about it. Everybody speaks about it, but no one really understood it, myself included. So I'm just going to take 2 minutes to explain a little bit. In South Africa, social media doesn't matter, you can watch interesting videos of little cats dancing, and you can keep up to date with your friends in Australia. But the bottom line is that social media is an advertising platform, like TV, like radio, etc. And Facebook is anything, Facebook and Instagram. I use it interchangeably because they're both owned by the same company. You pay to play. So in the good old days, you would have 3,000 people on your Facebook page. You could post a post of your lodge or a sunrise, and people would see it. The Facebook algorithm has been designed in such a way that when you post something, you are lucky if 2% of your audience actually see that post. So Facebook wants you to advertise. So that's the first thing. And why, and this is the most exciting reason, and I will share with you the case study. Why social media is such a powerful tool is that it allows you to be extremely focused and targeted. So let me give you an example. Someone who owns a billboard in front of Sandton City will say to you, there's 2,000 cars that drive past the billboard each morning, the same amount each afternoon, times that by 5 days in the week, times it by four weeks, and then, you know, X number of millions of people are seeing the billboard. That is correct, but is it the right target market? So for example, if you were a golf club manufacturer and you wanted to target a range of clubs focusing women, yes, women would see that, as would men, as would the beggars, as would. What Facebook allows you to do, and this is the power of social media, is you can target. So I could say, I want to target women between the ages of 40 and 55 who live in Bryanston, Fourways, Sandton, Dainfern, Eagle Canyon, who have an interest in golf, who love business class travel, and who go overseas once a year. And then, instead of spending hundreds and thousands of rands on people who I'm going to waste my money at, I could spend maybe 5,000 rand or 10,000 rand maximum, and I can target the right people. And that's the power of social media. Why we also recommend that Facebook and Instagram would be the right media for the travel business, and promoting of a lodge or a guest house or the Waterberg region, is that these are highly visual mediums. So you get the right words, the right pictures, and people are on Facebook when they wake up, before they go to sleep. They're on Instagram dreaming of these beautiful pictures. It's the most ideal platform to promote tourism. And the nice thing is that we're selling beautiful lodges and sunsets, and we're not selling headache tablets or life insurance. So these are the most ideal platforms. So now that I've explained to you a little bit about the power, it's time to share with you what we did. So like I said, we were very much focused on luxury inbound tourism. And when the president closed the borders, our business closed with it. And so what we had to do is we had to pivot, and we said, right, we're going to now focus on the domestic market. And we reached out we do a lot of work with the Moore Family Collection, because that's who we, historically have worked with. And they were one of the first groups to come out with a killer special. Now, the one thing to know about social media is that in order for advertising to work, it's about beautiful images, the right words, but it's most important about the right offer. And what they had done, the Moore Family Collection, so they own Lion Sands, they own Marataba, they own properties in Madikwe, some properties in Cape Town. They were discounting by 70%, and they were selling, between 2,999 and 3,999 per person per night. We, as a business, made a decision that we would spend 37,000 Rand of our own money advertising on Facebook to South Africans, and again, very targeted. We focused on Gauteng, we focused on people within a certain age. You can also exclude. So we excluded certain parts of South Africa that we didn't want to spend money on, and that these folk could never ever go traveling. We continue, this slide that I put together was at a point in time. We continue to get inquiries for Lion Sands. In 5 weeks we did, and this is 105 bookings, in other words, booked and deposits received. And we made them a revenue of 3.5 million. So we spent 37 to make 3.5. And again, it almost seems like it's an unbelievable number, but when you use a very small amount of money very effectively, you get what we call leads or inquiries. And that's essentially what we did. I can share other case studies. We're busy running the Thorny Bush promotion. I think we've spent 18,000 and we've made over 250,000 revenue. So I'm saying that when you understand how social media works, it is incredibly powerful. So that really tees it up as to why social media, why it works, and why it's the right form format for the tourism industry. So going back now, if we delve deeper into the two blocks, so the one is the campaign one, how do we drive occupancy rates? Campaign two, I will get to in terms of how do we drive Waterberg tourism. So forgive the slide, it's a bit wordy, but it's a one pager, and the plan is this. So we see an opportunity for the establishments to purchase a booster package. It's a 12-day social media campaign on steroids. It would be, what we would do is that for 8,500 Rand, we will design a campaign. So it's about matching the right message with the right visuals and the right offer. One of the reasons why the More Family Collection was so successful was that it was a buy now, travel later. So we addressed people's concerns that they wouldn't lose their money if the dates moved out. So what is the right message? Now, maybe not every, and we would work with each partner to work out what is the right deal. Not everybody can discount by 70%, and we don't suggest that you do. What's the value? What value add could we create? So the first thing is we would create an online campaign and design, which also would involve paying money to flights. So you would then spend money on Facebook and on Instagram. Why Facebook and why Instagram? I've alluded to it, that they're highly visual. But here's an amazing piece that I would not have believed it had it not actually happened to us. I cannot begin to tell you the number of CEOs that are on Instagram, of all places, and that the number of calls that we would get from the PA who saw our ad on Instagram, and that we subsequently have booked people to go. So designing an online campaign and leveraging the power of Facebook and Instagram. What we want to drive for the establishment is twofold: drive direct bookings. So what we do is we build a campaign, and what we get is we get names, surnames, and email addresses that we would then each day hand over to the sales team of the lodge. I'm going to use just the word lodge, but you know what I mean, restaurants, hotels, etc. We would hand over those names and addresses daily, and then the sales team would then close the sale in terms of an online booking. The other extremely powerful part to this is that when you get names and names, numbers, and email addresses, is that it allows you to retarget, and it allows you to start building a relationship with your future guests. So keeping in mind that we're going to get you, say, 200 inquiry leads, for want of a better word. We might only get 5 bookings, but you've got all of these people that you can essentially start sending newsletters out to. If you have an extra special promotion, if you need to fill up occupancy rate, it allows you to start building a relationship with these folks in terms of know, like, and trust. So the way it would work is that this whole campaign would be brought to you by Waterberg Tourism. So what we've done is we've taken the liberty of going to using Mondoro. It was just an example. And this just shows you what it could look like. So this digital booster package would be a targeted 12-day drive. We would use images from the establishment. It would be the right kind of copy, whatever the offer is, and it would be brought to you by Waterberg Tourism. And Waterberg Tourism, I think, has set itself up very, very nicely in terms of great assets. It's got a very good Facebook page. It's got a great website. So Waterberg Tourism is certainly ahead of the pack in terms of being a body or an umbrella body that really drives this. So this is what we would see from an establishment perspective. In terms of the 8,500 that I alluded to, so that's all in. So that's design. It's also, we would set up the back end of Facebook. It would be flighting. So that's the money that you spend advertising. 500 Rand of that would be the opportunity in terms of how do we get the Waterberg region into the consideration set of the Gauteng. And there's a big opportunity to obviously use the hashtag wonderful Waterberg, but the opportunity is brand awareness. And I'll come back to this. I'll show you what it could look like. And what we've done is it's a different spin that we've put on as opposed to a classical advertising. But, so camp in style. So there's a picture of Inzalo. Social distancing is a game drive. And that you start using the different establishments and you create that message, it starts having a very common look and feel brought to you by Waterberg Tourism. So again, how it would look in action on Facebook would be, I mean, even Hitch a Ride is a ziplining establishment. And really using the power of Facebook to talk to people about this diversity of experiences and establishments. And that wraps up my presentation. So thank you very much for listening to me. Do you have any questions?
Excellent. Thank you so much, Sean. Is there anybody that has a question or two for Sean?
So just, sorry, one thing, just so that you know, we are actually based in Bella Bella. So we are actually in the region. So very happy, if you don't have questions now, very happy to come out and meet you, should you want to meet with us one-on-one. Yeah, so we are on your doorstep.
Excellent. Sean, thank you so much for your time and all the hard work and effort that you've put into designing this proposal for us, and I think it's a great value add. Personally, from our perspective, we love the way that it incorporates not just the individual establishment boosting, but also how it promotes the Waterberg as a destination, which, as everybody knows, is our core mission as Waterberg Tourism. So thank you so much for that. Sean, if you could exit your screen, please.
I will.
I can load up there. Excellent. Thank you so much. All right, guys.
I'm going to go. It's lovely to meet you, and we'll chat soon.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sean. Great stuff.
Bye-bye.
Much appreciated.
Sid had a question there.
Yes, Sid.
Unmute, Sid.
What does a typical package cost for a member who would like to experiment and see whether they can get the same exponential results of 96 times your investment return? What is the average cost of a package, Judy?
Okay, well, we've lost Sean now. She's exited a bit early. We didn't see you there. Sorry, Sid. What Sean is proposing is that the 8,500 or 8,000 Rand is a good starter package. Where you'll have exponential results, you'll have really good results. But if you want to test the waters and try out your spend, I know a lot of us have probably played around with boosting a post or having a small ad, and then you either get a really good result or you don't get a result at all and you kind of back away. I would really like to recommend that you contact Sean and speak to her, because this is a package that they put together for Waterberg Tourism members. But they are very willing to negotiate with individual establishments as well, and guiding you through a process if you want to wade into the waters of paid advertising. How's that?
Can you give, sorry, Judy, can you give Sean's email address or communication? How can members communicate with her? Could you put it on the chat columns on the right-hand side here?
Yeah.
Thanks.
I can do that, and I'll also be sending that information out.
Okay, great.
Okay, great stuff. Thank you so much. Let me quickly pop back here. All right, I just want to catch up here quickly on our slideshows. Excuse the delay. All right, there we go. Okay, the Waterberg is a premium destination. We all know that. That's why we're here. We know it's near Gauteng. Sean spoke extensively about how we've been marketing to Gauteng. That is our main feeder market, 2.5 to 4 hours, depending on where in the Waterberg you want to be. The infrastructure is relatively good, so it's easy to travel here. Open spaces, which is sold straight into the natural self-isolation and distancing thing. Low health risk, good weather, safety, great activities, abundant wildlife. I'm not going to go into this in a great deal of detail, because we know this is our product, this is what we're selling, and it's a really good product, and there's a really good market for it right now. Our target markets is an adapted graphic here from Ledette, where the whole of Limpopo province is focusing on family and recreation, special interest tourism, business events, cultural and heritage, sport, wildlife safari, and hunting. That is what we have at the moment. That is what we want to develop further. And as I proceed in the presentation, We're going to talk in more detail about some of these specific target markets that we're looking at focusing. On our side here, on the right-hand side, you can see our main marketing message. Sean alluded to it as well. Wonderful Waterberg, which is a hashtag that you might have seen has started popping up. That's our main thrust, and all our marketing messages are going to be built around the wonder element, the word, the association, the awe, the wonder of the Waterberg. So we're going to be running with wonders of the Waterberg, wondrous discoveries, wonderful adventures, and things associated in that line. And we'd like to encourage our members as well to use those hashtags, as it all links up into the bigger digital picture, and it creates that wonderful Waterberg image. All right, Marula Hill has done their presentation. Number 3 on our list is COVID Clean. Now, for those of you that don't know yet, briefly, Waterberg Tourism has collaborated with Get Training and developed a COVID Clean program. And what it did is it took all the various recommendations and protocols and guidelines and things set out internationally by the WHO. All right, that's our 10-minute warning, sorry. By the WHO, by our own Center of Disease Control, our own Department of Health, FEDASA, TBCSA, the American Lodging Association, Singapore Tourism, Australian Tourism. We've literally gone through stacks like this of documents. And we wrote a program, a training program and a protocol guideline specifically for the Waterberg. So it deals with lodges, it deals with outdoor activities, and it looks not just at training staff and management and owners about COVID protection and about COVID operations, but it also offers them the appropriate legal documentation and consultation that they need to make sure that their establishment is ready, from documents to staff personal protection to how do I protect my guests, how do I handle a guest that displays symptoms or that is sick when they arrive at my establishment, so that you not only operate legally, but you operate safely. And this is absolutely vital. So it's a training program and support consultation service. It provides operational preparedness, support, and accountability. It ensures that the establishment is clean and is safe. You can't say that you're COVID clean if you're not COVID clean, or that you're safe and you are not operating safely. It assists with legal compliance, as I said. I think something that is very important about this program is the empowerment that it gives. We've run it at a few lodges in the Waterberg. Get Training has tried it on a few lodges in Gauteng, or a few establishments in Gauteng. And the feedback that comes back from these establishments is how the staff and the managers feel empowered. They feel confident to go forth and accept guests again. And then lastly, of course, it mitigates fear and uncertainty from staff and our guests. That's what we want. Guests want to travel to safe destinations. And by saying that there is some kind of program, some kind of accountability in place, mitigates that fear. So if I decide to do this program, how's it going to help my business? Well, firstly, like I said, a lot of the focus of the program are advantages, providing that preparedness, support, and accountability, ensuring that establishments are clean and safe, showing accountability. Now, this is incredibly important because a lot of guys are just opening up, they're ready to do business, but do you care about me as a guest? Do you care about me as a person? And by subscribing to some or other protocol, whether it's COVID Clean, whether it's TBCSA guidelines, whether it's World Health Organization guidelines, whatever the case may be, WESA's guidelines, it's important to have that accountability. It gains guests' trust. It shows our commitment as individual establishments and as a destination. And for those of you that are reading the travel write-ups, the magazines, articles that follow various bloggers and industry experts, post-COVID travel is about safety and about empathy. We not only need to offer a safe destination, we also have to be empathic, there we go, excuse me, empathic towards our guests' needs and their emotions. Travel is an experience. Experiences are incredibly personal. So by just putting out a hard black and white thing and saying, well, I'm sorry, you didn't cancel at an appropriate time, you're not getting a refund, or I'm sorry, you can only book now, or you can only book next year, whatever the case may be, by being inflexible and unsympathetic towards our guests, we are breaking our market down. So those are the two key features in travel going forward. safety, and empathy. So how would COVID Clean work? Well, what's great about the program is that you can do it on site. The facilitator will come to the establishment and not only help you identify your risks on site, but do the training on site within your operational frameworks and physical establishment abilities and operational procedures. Then there's also an online training platform where you can sign up per individual person that would like to do the training, and they can do an online training course, which will also offer support in the form of WhatsApp and video conferencing and emails and that kind of thing. There has been a suggestion, and we are willing to go with it, to have weekly Zoom or monthly Zoom meetings, or 2 weekly, that people sit together and they talk about the challenges, and it's kind of like an open forum discussion. But the important thing, it doesn't matter which option you choose, there will always be a consultant on standby. And the important thing where that accountability comes in is that there are checkups and check-ins. Now, this is not a red pen inspector type thing. This is a phone call or a visit to the site when the facilitator goes past and just checking up, because in most of the industrial environments, they are having toolbox talks every single day, which means that they are running through these procedures with their staff every single day. They're having surprise inspections, spot checks, because COVID protocols go against human nature. We need to realize that. Our human nature demands that we congregate in groups, that we seek each other out socially, that there is a measure of closeness and of touch. And also we like to see each other's faces. We like to hear properly. So masks go off very quickly. Social distancing is easily forgotten. So it's important to have that regular check-in, not just on site, but from an external force. And, you know, using for lack of a better word quickly. And then, of course, promoting your status as COVID Clean on social media, on websites, saying that you have done this course, you have a certificate, you have signed an agreement, the process has been followed, all the documentation is in place, you are safe, as safe as we can be in the current environment. So that's all about COVID Clean. If you'd like to know more about the program, please let us know. You are welcome to contact us, and we'll supply more information. Sorry, my computer is slowing down. We are now on the 3-minute mark. So I'm just giving a bit of a warning. When we hit about a minute, I'm going to stop, and I would like you to log on to the next session then. Sorry for the break, but this is how we need to run at the moment. Okay, our next topic is Waterberg tourism routes. And this is focusing mostly on a self-drive offering. And as Sean said earlier, looking at domestic tourism, self-drive is going to be a major thing. Our feed market from Gauteng, self-drive is the way to go if we want to get those domestic tourists in. Few people are going to fly in at this stage from Cape Town, but we're hoping that soon that's going to change. All right, so when we're talking about Waterberg tourism routes, we can't look at the standard meander rate or concept, because the Midlands meander has been a beautiful benchmark case study example for a lot of other South African destinations, and the meander has been incredibly successful. So when we talk about a route, we have that as an example, but we can't hold that as our textbook case, because in the Waterberg the distances are too great. I think I said yesterday to Ken, we get so used to quickly driving 40 or 80 or 100 kilometers to get where we need to go, because we live there and we're used to those distances, whereas tourists are not. So if you say, no, you can horse ride there in the morning and you can eat there in the afternoon and you can sleep over there, and they spend most of the day in the car, that's a bit of a deterrent. So our distances are very big. Our products are very few because we are in a rural area and a lot of our products are nature-based. So we're looking at a big hectareage property. And then, of course, underdeveloped. We've got a very, very small group of people that have got big operations. But because of our distances and our rural nature, most of our products are not geared up and developed for quick stop-ins. And then, of course, in thinking about this and in planning those trails, we want to make it something different. And that's why we're looking at the name of Waterberg Trails and Wonders of the Waterberg. So when we create these routes, we want to focus very keenly on our accommodation or our break spaces in between attractions. so that instead of people just popping and hopping from one place to another, we're encouraging a slow drive, an exploration of scenery as well as products and experiences. So, like I said, it will be a variety of attractions, interests, sceneries, and establishments. Excuse me. It'll empower guests to travel with more confidence, and it will encourage exploration. And as anybody knows, if you want to experience the Waterberg, you need to explore the Waterberg. So we want to create and empower our guests with routes that will encourage that exploration. And that's also important from an angle of creating destination exposure and, of course, financial distribution. Because one of the great things about routes is that all the money is not just spent in one place. It is spread throughout the destination, and economic development guys will tell you, keep the money in the destination. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now in less than a minute. I'm going to end our session now, and I'm going to open the next session. So if you can please log on to the next session, I'd really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm going to see you in the next session.